Okay, so what if being called boring isn't actually an insult? What if it's a sign that your mind is working on a totally different, way more powerful level? Today, we're going to dive into the hidden intelligence that's often hiding behind a quiet life.
Has anyone ever hit you with that? Maybe because you'd rather curl up with a good book than, go to some loud, crowded party. It's such a common label, and yeah, it can definitely sting. But what if that word completely misses the mark on what's really going on inside your head?
Because here's the thing. In a world that is obsessed with being loud and constantly entertaining, some of the latest thinking in psychology suggests that your choice to be quiet isn't a bug, it's actually a feature of a highly intelligent mind. So let's break down exactly why that is.
So, first up is this idea of rejecting social performance. See, a lot of highly intelligent people consciously opt out of a game that most of us don't even realize we're playing. And that's exactly why their authenticity can sometimes be mistaken for being, well, boring.
There's actually a term for this in psychology. It's called impression management. And it's all about that constant and, frankly, draining effort of trying to craft an image of yourself just so other people will like you. Intelligent people often see this game for what it is, a massive waste of energy, and they just decide not to play.
Now, to be super clear, this isn't about being antisocial. Not at all. It's about being pro-authenticity. It's when you stop that emotional negotiation. That constant mental math of what should I say or do to get the right reaction? And when you stop doing that, you free up a huge amount of brain power for the things that you actually care about.
Just think about the difference in energy here. On one hand, you've got the social performer, who's basically on a treadmill, always chasing after what other people think. But the authentic mind, that person is grounded, they find validation from within because they value what's true over what's popular. You can almost feel the difference in the mental load, can't you?
So, if you're not burning all that mental energy on performing for others, what are you doing with it? Well, that leads us right to our second big idea, this incredibly rich inner world. We're talking about what's really going on when it looks like you're just doing nothing.
Oh, I love this quote. It just completely reframes what silence is all about. It's not emptiness, it's a workshop. It's your mental lab. While a lot of people might panic when things get quiet, an intelligent mind actually craves that space to process information, to connect ideas, and to really organize the chaos of the world.
And this whole process, it kind of unfolds in three stages. First, you've got deep processing, where you're not just scratching the surface of ideas, you're really digging in. That naturally leads to the second step, generating insights, where you start making these new, surprising connections. And finally, my favorite part, cognitive play. This is where you just let your mind wander, explore abstract ideas, or break down complex systems just for the fun of it. It's like a mental workout that keeps a powerful brain in top shape.
And let me tell you, this isn't just some quirky personality trait. Psychologists see this comfort with quiet, this ability to just be with your own thoughts, as a major sign of analytical depth. It's a mental space that minds hooked on constant noise and distraction will do almost anything to avoid.
All right, this leads right into our third point, and it's a big one, the strategic mind. This is all about the incredibly active, purposeful thinking that's so often hidden behind a calm, quiet exterior.
This is such a perfect metaphor. That state that other people might dismiss as you zoning out, it's often a state of intense simulation. You're not being passive at all. You're running scenarios, predicting how things might play out, and planning your next moves like a grandmaster.
And believe it or not, there is a pretty cool scientific term for this. It's called advanced predictive processing. It basically means your brain is constantly building these complex models of what could happen and then running simulations of the future. This kind of strategic foresight is what allows you to be so precise and deliberate while everyone else is just reacting. It is a serious superpower disguised as just sitting there. So how do you fuel this kind of deep strategic thinking? Well, it comes down to managing your energy, not just your time. Intelligent people are brilliant at protecting their mental peaks. Saying no to a party isn't about being lazy, it's a strategic move to protect your cognitive rhythm from noise that just hijacks your focus. Real growth, real clarity, it comes from subtraction. So when you put all of this together, what does it really mean? It all points to your silent power, this profound strength you have precisely because you don't need to follow the herd. Look, at the end of the day, that boring label, it's just plain wrong. You're not boring. You are self-contained. Your low need for everyone else's approval means you actually think for yourself. And in a world that is absolutely saturated with noise, believe me, that kind of self-containment is a rare and incredible form of power.
And honestly, if people think you're boring, maybe it's just because you're operating on a completely different frequency. It could very well be a sign that you've reached a level of inner peace and mental clarity that most people are still desperately searching for. It's something to be valued, not downplayed.
So I'll leave you with this question. As you think back on these ideas, rejecting social performance, having that rich inner world, or using your mind for that deep strategic thinking, which one of those really hit home for you? Which one felt like a perfect description of your own silent power?